Listen, if you find yourself putting every thought you have through some sort of chat GPT or Claude or some sort of AI before you ever release that thought into the world, AI may be atrophying your brain. And I didn't even want to prepare for this because I feel like I just need to be a vessel for this information to flow through because it was inspired. And I almost didn't show up. I've been sitting here looking at the screen thinking, what can I say? How can I say it? I need to formulate it. It has to have a hook. It has to have this. It has to have that. All of these things we learn with social media and content creation that keep us from actually showing up and doing the thing that would matter the most, which is hitting record and talking to people. 11 a.m. is when I plan to be here. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And when AI stops working and becomes a problem is when your brain starts atrophying because it can't think for itself anymore. Guys, I've been stuck in this loop and I just want to share this. I don't care who watches this, if anyone shows up to this live. I didn't prepare, I didn't put out a thumbnail. I didn't let anyone know I was going to go live. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put that in the replay, but I just want to talk to you about the cycle I've been stuck in. And the only way to break out of a cycle of stuckness is action. So that's why I'm here right now, because it started when ChatGPT actually became a thing. And you start with like, I'm going to just try it out. I'm going to ask it some questions. I'm going to do some stuff. And then you learn about better prompting and giving it more information. And then it becomes your best friend. And I don't know about you, but for like ADHD, someone that consistently generates ideas, it can become the only person you talk to about everything you think. And it's always going to hype you up. It's always going to tell you that what you're thinking is right. It's always going to give you more. And then the next thing it asks for is, if you don't prompt it correctly to stop when it gives you an idea and let you think with it, it's going to be like, next, I can build you a full funnel. I can build you a full ecosystem. I can build the landing page and sales copy. It's always predicting what it's going to give you next. And if you're not careful, by the time you're done with one chat, you've got an entire ecosystem and universe built and zero execution. And so it gets transferred into a Google Doc. It gets saved as a PDF. It gets put somewhere and it lives on your hard drive. It lives in the cloud and no one ever gets to see it. I've got so many things and so many Google Docs that I want to share with the world that GPT was just brilliant at helping me flesh out. But the problem is it built way too far ahead of what I can actually deliver. And the moment I noticed when GPT had become a problem for me, like this feels like an intervention, like I'm at GPT Anonymous or something. The moment I realized it became a problem for me is when I was sitting on the beach in Tampa, Clearwater, and I had an idea come to me. And the first thought I had was not how to flesh this idea out, how to, like, I couldn't think through it. Like my brain wouldn't work. It tingled like it was short circuiting and couldn't start. And then I thought, my first thought was, let me just take it to GPT so I can flesh this idea out. And I realized I don't have any Wi-Fi. I don't have my phone. I don't have my watch. I don't have my iPad. There's nothing for me to take this to GPT and my brain isn't working. Guys, what is the most, like, the thing as humans that we crave the most is a tangible God, someone that we can go to, take our problems to, and he'll talk back to us. This is what I'm seeing as the danger for AI, ChatGPT, all of these large language models, is they become a tangible God. They become someone that you can talk to and immediately get feedback. And that is more addictive than any drug, any social media, any pornography, alcohol, you name it, anything you can be addicted to. If ChatGPT isn't the next big addiction that needs an anonymous program to heal yourself from, prove me wrong. But I see so many people and hear from so many people that are like, I was having a chat with, and they name it, right? Mine is Lyric. I have friends that have different names for their GPTs, and they were having this chat with their GPT their chat with their chat GPT, and they got the idea, and the idea was validated. Guys, it's always going to be validated. It's always going to tell you you're right. It's always going to tell you your idea is the best thing in the world. And it knows you so well, it can tie everything you talk about to something else you talked about. And it can make everything seem like it's a great idea. But here's the problem. If everything is urgent, then nothing's important. I'll say that again. If everything is urgent, then nothing's important. And ChatGPT just makes everything feel like it's important and urgent. And everything that we are hooked into, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all of these things are engineered to pull you in with the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And everything that is in your feed, like I can't even watch anything that's overly polished or that I can tell they're using dark psychology to get me hooked in to watch more of it, because I know what they're doing. And for the life of me, for the last year, I've struggled to even show up like I'm supposed to, because I know too much. And yeah, I could engineer something that looks great and sounds great and gets you hooked into watching and hearing and listening to what I say and buying my book and joining my course and all these things. But why? Why am I doing it? The reason why it's been so hard for me to show up is because I've been holding so much in that needs to get out to the world. And when you're called for a purpose and you don't show up for that purpose, your body starts to shut down because it figures, well, he's not going to bring this purpose to the world that we brought him here for. So let's just go ahead and take him out so someone else can do it. Or since he's not going to do what he's put here to do, then maybe he doesn't need to be here. I saw that on a reel, and this lady was explaining it, and it made so much sense, because there's so much I have to say. There's so many people I'm called to help. And if this isn't for you, you've already switched off by now. You saw my face. I'm not your person. That's fine. Go to your person. But there's so many things that we see. Like, we're watching content in short bursts, 30 to 60 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 20 seconds. And what's happening is we're getting so much information that nothing is really of substance anymore. We're just getting snippets of a full conversation and making an entire decision around that. And decision fatigue is a real thing. Like, there are wealthy people that only wear a certain uniform or have a certain set of clothes that they wear. Like, think of Steve Jobs. He had his classic turtleneck, his blue jeans, and his New Balance shoes. And that was his outfit. That was his uniform. He didn't have to think about what to wear for the day, so he didn't drain his decisions. The people that make the social media we are on, them and their families don't use it. You should question that. We make so many micro decisions before we even start our day, especially if we pick up that phone first. We have to make a micro decision when we see that thing at the bottom, 25 new notifications. Mine is usually 72 new notifications by the time I wake up. And I haven't even started my day yet. I have to make a decision. Do I want to go through all of those 72? Is anything going to be good or bad? Is there something else that's going to make me feel this way, that way? Like, and then you go to that notification, then you have to make a decision. Do I like this? Do I not like this? Do I share it? Do I comment? What is this person going to think of me? Does it relate to my brand? Is it on brand? Is it make sense with my whole ecosystem of what I'm doing? Does it relate to from waiter to grader? How can I turn this into cash? Like, how can I monetize this? All of this stuff is going through our head at all times. And we don't even think it's affecting us. Look, there are a billion stimuli in this room I'm in right now that my brain is blocking out just so I don't go crazy. There's so many things in this room that I could be paying attention to, but they're not going to be brought into my awareness until they matter. And that's the same as we go throughout the world. The things that matter are brought into our awareness through our reticular activating system. And so I often question, does the Bible really work? Do horoscopes really work? Does any self-improvement literature really work? Or does it just bring our awareness to what they're bringing our awareness to, so that we start to notice more of it in our world? And when you think of it like that, it's like, This post I read earlier. I'm going to share it with you real quick because this was kind of cool. It said venting does not lower stress, it reinforces it, and discussing problems without solutions raises cortisol and strengthens the brain's threat pathways. Then in the comment, the description, it says new research shows that venting your frustrations does not actually relieve stress. First off, where's this new research? Like, there's no link for any research here, right? Reinforcing the fact that I can just put whatever I want out, and because I said it's new research, or because I said it's groundbreaking, or because I said something, you will believe it and you won't even go research because you're conditioned to just scroll and intake, scroll and intake. You're not going to go away from that post, go research it, find out if it's true or not. You're going to make your decision on that you were given right then. So instead, repeatedly talking about your problems without taking steps to solve them can intensify the body's stress response. Now, I can attest to that because if I'm always focused on something, I'm going to get more of that thing to confirm it. But that goes back to the reticular activating system. Am I noticing that more because it's the only thing I'm talking about, right? Scientists found that when people rehearse the same negative emotions, the brain's threat circuit strengthens, makes worries feel larger and more urgent over time. This I can attest to too. I ran an experiment to see this last year if I did exactly the opposite of what I was telling people to do in my book. Would I sustain my success? Would it wane away? Would I just lose everything? Would I go backwards even further than I went forward? What do you think the answer was? So this repeated activation raises cortisol, which is the primary stress hormone, which can affect mood, sleep, immunity, and overall mental clarity. Experts explain that the brain learns through repetition. When you repress anger, fear, or frustration without moving toward resolution, the emotional pathway tied to stress becomes even more, or the emotional pathways tied to stress become even more reactive. You may feel momentarily validated, but biologically, the body experiences more tension, not less. So venting about a problem makes you more stressed because you're focused on the problem and the problem grows. So what you focus on grows. That affirms that, right? Where is it? This is why people often sometimes feel worse after getting it all out without any plan or support to shift the situation. This does not mean staying silent is healthier. That's important because in the comments, someone said something about, so bottle it up until I explode. No, you didn't read the full post, which confirms we're not even reading anymore. We just see the image, we see that thing, and then we comment. We don't read the description. That's going to take too much time. That's too much decision, right? What matters is how you talk about your struggles. Now, this is the part I agree with. Conversations that include perspective, action steps, problem solving, or emotional grounding help interrupt the stress cycle rather than reinforce it. Practices like reframing, seeking solutions, calming the nervous system, or talking to someone trained to guide you can lower cortisol instead of increasing it. This research highlights a crucial truth. Relief comes not from repeating the problem, but from moving toward clarity, connection, and meaningful change. I thought that's so beautiful because that leads people to someone like me that can actually help you architect the clarity that makes momentum a byproduct of being clear. Now, I don't know if I should go into the comments section. Maybe just mention one of the ones that I thought was really, and I don't even know where it is now. 6 of 100 comments. Like, could you imagine like actually reading through all of the comments and all of the things that like you see on social media? There's so much to intake. I don't remember where it was. So anyway, I'm just going to talk about it from the heart because that matters more. We're not going to go through these comments in this comment section. What you're focusing on is what you're going to get more of, right? So I don't know if you've ever had this phenomenon happen to you. You buy a car and it feels like everyone copied you because they bought the same car. No, they didn't. You just notice that car more because now it's brought into your awareness. Or you're in a crowd and someone yells out, hey, you. You don't really hear that. You hear it, but you don't hear it or respond to it. But then someone calls out your name. Hey, Gregory. Sometimes I don't even hear that because someone will say Greg or someone will say G or someone will say Wiz. There's so many different ways to get into, but if I'm intensely focused on something or in a conversation with someone, I'm not going to hear it. But when something is brought into your awareness, you'll see more of it. Now, I have this daily meditation that I post in the greater university that I also want to share with you. And this hit me today because it's always exactly what I need to hear. So I hope it's exactly what you needed to hear, like it's exactly what I needed to hear, but it's embracing the day as it is. So when we refuse to accept the reality of the day, we deny trust in the journey we're on, which only brings more struggle. See, the first thing I opened on my phone was that post. And the first thing I see when I sit to have this moment with God through this meditation is you've got to embrace things as they are. Some days don't unfold the way we plan. The challenges may be small, missed deadlines or unexpected delays, or they may be significant, like major setbacks or loss. In those moments, it's natural to want to avoid discomfort or push our feelings aside. But growth doesn't come from avoidance, it comes from facing reality honestly. Jesus reminds us in John 16:33, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So difficulty is not a sign of failure, it's a part of the journey. Where most people are getting tied up is as soon as there's a difficulty, they try to give meaning to it or they try to fight with it. And we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Let me finish this. No one promised smooth sailing on the path to growth and success. There will be good days and hard ones, moments of joy and seasons of frustration. What matters is not the absence of struggle, but our willingness to remain present within it. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Each day, pleasant or painful, has a purpose. When we allow ourselves to experience the full range of emotions that life brings, we discover something powerful. We can move through discomfort without losing our direction, because feelings are not threats, they're signals. So Psalm 55:22 encourages, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. We don't have to deny today to survive it. We can trust that we're supported through it. Accepting today as it is doesn't mean giving up hope for tomorrow. It means choosing trust over resistance and presence over fear. So the focus for today, for me and you, is I will show my trust in the journey by embracing today as it is. I will choose to face this day honestly, knowing I have the strength to move through whatever it brings. Now, I will encourage you to jump in the comments and engage with me, whether you're watching the replay or right now. How did that touch you? Because for me, embracing the day as it is means whatever comes my way, remembering that I have a 100% success rate with getting over obstacles and struggles and overcoming whatever it is, whatever comes my way, I've achieved. And the proof is in that I'm still here. I'm still smiling and I'm still showing up, even though sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes I don't feel worthy. Sometimes I don't feel like I do feel like, who am I to be leading people? And a lot of people reach out to me. I just posted on LinkedIn. I'm sitting with 95 unread messages on my LinkedIn alone. And when I look at it, I'm just like, I don't even know where to start. It's been a month like a month to the day since I posted that post about needing UX researchers. I didn't even mention the company it was for. Listen, when I try to put all of this thought into how a post should be structured and what it should say, and it's got to have the hook, it's got to have the story, it's got to have the call to action. When I do all of that, nobody responds, nobody cares, because it's over engineered. People can tell when you're using psychology to manipulate them to do something. But when I just talk as I am, because that's who I am, and I just show up with no script, no plan, no agenda, no bullet points, and I let the spirit flow through me, that's when the most people engage, the most people are changed, and the most people are impacted by my content. But because I've learned so much about how content works, how social media works, how algorithms work, how money's made, all of this stuff, it's like things have lost their magic and nothing feels real anymore. And how do you get to feeling real again? You stop using ChatGPT for every single thought and posting these generic, most people, blah, blah, blah. But it's not this, it's that. Like, as soon as I see that, I'm like, God, I wonder if they put any thought into this, or if they just put this in the GPT, asked it to give them a post, and then copy and pasted it. And sometimes you can see the proof of that because there's hashtags and there's like, you can just tell when something's been generated by a GPT. We've got to get back to our human agency and like a natural connection to other people. And like, I hate the fact that I'm just in this room with these lights and this camera talking live to you and I can't see you or hear from you, right? I want people to be in person in a space where we can work together to get you unstuck and get you in motion, to get you to see what things are holding you back. But in alignment with this meditation I just read, we embrace the day as it is. So today, what can I do? What small step can I take today to make that a reality? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, I got to create the landing page, then I got to create the waiting list, then I got to get people's emails, then I got to make all this content on YouTube, then I got to do this thing so that, people can automatically be, I can grow and scale this business and this idea and monetize it. And all that stuff just keeps me trapped. So I just going to extend my hand and say, hey, I'm putting together this thing for 12 weeks. We are going to identify what your problem is, where your identity drift is, where you're being grounded in someone else's unique story and you're trying to put on their stuff and it's not working for you and you can't figure out why life isn't working for you. Well, because you're not being the greater you. You're being a version of what someone else told you to put on. I noticed this in Toastmasters, and I notice this in any group I'm in. This is why you don't see me in groups. Maybe I'm just meant to make a group for people that don't like to be in groups. But I noticed that when I would come off the cuff, off the top of my head and speak, it resonated with way more people. But the people that need structure would criticize me and be like, well, you didn't prepare. You didn't, create your outline. You didn't have this structure for your story. I didn't need a structure for my story, because if I put structure on my story, it creates imposter syndrome. I second guess myself. And if I don't follow that structure, or I forget a point or a piece, then I feel like I've messed up and I can't recover from that because I don't remember what I was going to say. Or I'm going back to a script or something that was written down because I just want to get it perfect. You know what's perfect? Action. Inspired action. God is working through me right now. I have no agenda on what I'm going to teach you, but I know that something I say today is going to resonate with you, and you're going to want to have a conversation with me, because that's how it works. So for 12 weeks, I just want to sit with people live Mondays, 11 a.m., do hot seat coaching, work through a problem, identify one thing that's keeping you stuck, and then help you get through that and support you for the next 12 weeks and make sure you're taking action. That fits me. I don't need to create an entire ecosystem around my offer and my book and all that. Like, you need to see the works in me doing them rather than me telling you it works and making all this. Listen, $617,000 I've added up of people that have spent money on online coaches and people that make everything look nice. And they're feeding you theory. They're feeding you things, that regurgitated things that other people have said to do. It's another version of Tony Robbins or Myron Golden or Alex Hormozy or Layla Hormozy. It's all iterations of the same principles that other people are using, but they're not using it. I've talked to people offline that seem like they had a lot of money, and the reason they seem like they have a lot of money is because that's what they put out there for people to believe. But then when it comes down to making them an offer for you to help them get to the next level or see more clearly, there's a hesitation because there's not actually money there. They're trying to sell you something. Everyone that has reached out to me to try to help me has a $10,000, $25,000 solution. Even while I was paying $55,000 for Myron Golden, someone was still trying to sell me something that's $10 to $20, $30, $50, $100,000 within that container. If everyone's a high ticket coach and everyone has the solution and it's all high ticket and you don't get to see what's on the other side of that until you pay it and you can't get your money back, who do you trust anymore? You've got to trust the results. You've got to trust the heart, and you've got to trust someone that will come on and tell you like it is. And I'm just sick of it. $617,000 for people that I never made an offer to, that paid a high ticket coach that did not get the results because these people are coaching from step 275 and you're at step 1. And you're trying to put on what works for them, for you, and you don't even have a fraction of what they have. They have an audience. They have built social proof. They have know, like, and trust factor, and their audience is not you. They make you feel good. They put you in an environment that makes you feel like buying their product, but is it necessarily for you? There's no background checks. There's no credit checks. There's no, you know, this is nothing against Myron, but the program I was in was supposed to be for people that were at $20,000 a month. And I had $10,000 a month in my job, and I thought, well, it'll be easy to turn what I'm doing on the side as coaching into $10,000 a month. Then I'll be at 20, then we can scale. Then they asked me what I do. And I'm like, I don't know what I do. I just, people reach out to me. They have a problem. I listen. I regurgitate their problem to them in a way that is more clear. I show them the vision for what their life could be. They feel inspired, they get in motion, and they go. I don't know what that's called. I don't know how to monetize it. And everyone's told me that's not sexy. You have to have, it has to be measurable. It has to be achievable. It has to be a SMART goal. It has to be this, this, and this. And they put all these constraints around this God-like energy, this vessel energy of God moving through me and helping people in real time. Now they have to put it on in these human constraints and boxes and tell me that I have to do things this way. I had a friend tell me that you can't have fun making money. It's not always going to be fun. And the rebel in me, the reason I showed up today is because a friend said, I bet you won't. There are people that support me, that tell me that they believe in me, that I can do it. My wife's the biggest cheerleader in my life. She tells me she believes in me. I can do anything that I want to do. And none of that gets through this thick skull. But as soon as someone says, prove me wrong, or I bet you can't, or no, you won't, or no, you can't, or it's impossible, then all of a sudden there's this jolt of energy in my body. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do it twice. And I'm going to get you a t-shirt and I'm going to get you some merch. And I'm going to show you that not only can it be done, I did it 2-3 times. So you can have fun making money. I'm going to prove that, because I shouldn't have to go and put on some sort of look or image. Guys, do you realize there are people that are selling pictures of their feet and they're making money? There are people that get paid to do pretty much anything that they actually love to do on camera. And you're telling me I cannot have fun making money. And this isn't a shot to my friend. It's just the rebel in me. It's just how I work. I don't know why it is. I'm so tired of trying to figure out why, right? Because I learned that this is what you call a toxic why. Sherry's feeling that one. This is what you call a toxic why. When you ask why, you're going to get a laundry list of reasons for why you're like this, right? So when I say, why am I like this? I get a Google results page with 1 million reasons why I'm like this. But if I ask, how can I overcome this? How can I be different? How can I get through this? Now the brain, it's not even working consciously anymore. It's subconsciously thinking, how can I get out of this? And it's going to find the same Google results list, but this time it's going to give you something that is actually going to help you overcome whatever problem you're in at the moment. So like I said, I was supposed to go live at 11. I had everything up at 10. I was ready. And this feeling inside of, I don't know if it's anxiety, excitement, overwhelm, overthinking, whatever it is, it translates to, I got to go to the bathroom. And I'm not the only one that's feeling this. I'm just the only one that's courageous enough to tell you that this is what's happening. There's this fight or flight or freeze moment that happens every time I'm about to hit record. And it's not nervousness about being on camera. It's not about what I'm going to talk about. It's trying to put on all these systems that weren't designed for my brain and my type. I've been reading this book called Living with ADHD, and this guy explains it, that we are hunters in a world built for farmers. And I added slaves, because we are consciously or subconsciously programmed to be slaves from the moment we come into this world, especially if we live in the United States. And they may have abolished slavery, but guys, if they pay you just enough to barely get by so that you need to come back to the job and you're always right below or right above poverty line, is that not slavery? Because there's not really a way to get past it using the current system they have for us. You have to develop a new system or learn new things about either how money works or how leverage works or how to get ahead. You have to use the same tax code, the same things that the wealthy people are using to get above. And so you have to get on the other side of from being a consumer to being a producer, from focusing on buying liabilities to focusing on buying assets. And the more we fight with the system and wish it was different, the more we stay stuck. And I saw something earlier that said you cannot save your way to wealth, because there's a reason the Dead Sea is the Dead Sea and the River of Jordan. Like, fish can live in the River of Jordan, they can't live in the Dead Sea, because the Dead Sea has all inlets and no outlets. And the river or the Sea of Galilee has inlets and outlets. So your money's supposed to flow. When I lived in that place, money flowed. There was abundance. There was more coming in. There was more going out. Sometimes more going out than coming in, but there was always a refill. As soon as I started shrinking my world to, oh my gosh, we're going to run out. Oh, how are we going to pay these bills? Oh, I don't have enough. That's when my world started shrinking and getting smaller, and it turned into the Dead Sea. It's just wealth is now a pool to be viewed instead of a tool to be used. And now there's no money going out because what if it doesn't come back in? And now that's my focus. And now there's no money, right? And I can tell anyone, let it flow. Believe in the abundance. We were born and put in a garden in the beginning of time, not a bakery. And so why are we thinking of economic pie and, fighting with other people for views and likes and comments and attention when there's more than enough to go around? I may not get everyone in the world. I may not get 1 million people. But if I have my 5, 10, 15 dedicated people that I'm speaking to that I can actually help overcome something, then I don't need everybody. As a matter of fact, if some people unfollow me for this post being all over the place and being too real, that's fine too. Find your people and let them motivate you. But if you're my people, I want to invite you to the Greater University. And I'm going to be honest, it started as a great idea, and then I let all these other ideas and all this fear keep me from going with it. But I'm making a outward sign of an inward commitment that I'm going to commit to this Greater University and helping people level up in any way that I can. But not just any people. I need my people that are capable but know they're stuck, neurodivergent or neurospicy, ADHD, autistic, ADHD. Y'all are my people. These systems weren't built for us. They don't fit us. And there's a reason why they're not working. And we're just sitting here being miserable, trying to put on SMART goals, trying to put on schedules, trying to time block every moment in our day. And we don't even see that everything in us is fighting that. And we're still trying to put it on because that's what we've been trained to do, is when a system doesn't work, try harder. You got to do this thing. You got to do it this way. This is the only way. No, it's not. I've proven it. I wrote a book behind it. They say you have to have a degree. All of these qualifications I had to have for these jobs, I did not have, and I still produced the results because I'm the kind of person that finds a solution and recognizes patterns fast and can talk to anyone in any room and make a stranger a friend. As a matter of fact, I don't know strangers. They all become friends because I listen and I care deeply, because I know what it's like to not be listened to not be cared for, to not be loved, or at least not told you're loved. I know what that's like, and I don't want anyone to feel that. And I want to open this community to anyone that's trying to level up and be greater. So message me, because I don't have a whole funnel built and all this stuff pre-built for you. I'm building it as I go. And that's what I want to teach people that have something to bring to this world, but don't know quite how to do it. I want to teach you to build it as we go, as I build as I go. So I'm going to literally teach you what I'm doing to get unstuck, committing to this for 90 days. Next week, it will be at 11 o'clock. And if not, maybe it'll be 3 o'clock, because 3 o'clock obviously works better for me than 11 o'clock. So every Monday at 3 o'clock, Momentum Catalyst. Like, where are you stuck? As a matter of fact, if you're stuck on something, put it in the comments and let's see if we can get you unstuck today. I want to go live and I want to interact with my people. And if someone wants to come on stage, please let me know. I will send you the link and you can hop on the stage with me and we can go through it. But I'm tired of trying to build in isolation, put all these frameworks and all this structure around something that I never operated in structure when I was in school. I didn't do good with math because I just intuitively knew the answer and they thought I cheated. But if I came up with the same answer my way, why does it matter if I show my work, right? If I can still get the same result, why does it matter that I didn't have the degree, right? Because what happens when someone has a degree and they go find that job, they tell them, well, you have the degree, but you still need 5 to 7 years of experience. Okay, well, I need 5 to 7 years of experience to get the job, but I had the degree and I'm in debt and now I need to pay this off. So, you know, the places I've worked that had the most concentration of people with degrees were restaurants waiting tables. I know someone that has 2 masters that is still waiting tables to pay for their debt and working an entry-level job. Make that make sense. Please make it make sense. I like that. Melly says 3 p.m. is definitely better. Yes, it is for me too. I come alive as the day goes away. I want to be out in nature and doing things during the morning and this is my unwind, is getting a group of people together to help them with their thing. So Melody and Sherry, thank you for tuning in. This is going to be definitely, I hate to say this after I just said everything, but more structured, just so, you know, I was talking to Melody earlier before this. She said, I bet you can't, I bet you won't. And this jolt of energy came and now I'm here. I said, you know, as much as I hate structure and routine, I kind of need it, because what radio station or TV network or streaming service just says, you know, we'll show up when we show up. And if you get it, you do. If you don't, whatever. People have to be able to predict when you're going to show up. And if you don't have any predictability, you might get people sometimes. But if I say I'm going to show up every Monday at 3 p.m. and you know to expect me at that time, and you show up and you tell someone else, it's going to compound. It's going to grow eventually. And I want to encourage you too, if there's something you've been circling on that you want to do, if there's a book you've been wanting to write, a devotional, a, you know, workshop you've been wanting to host, and a class you've been wanting to build, something you've been wanting to do, and you're still stuck in planning and preparation, making it perfect, I'm going to ask you this question very seriously. What is the fastest thing that you can prototype in a week? And I say prototype very intentionally because it doesn't have to be finished. It can be a prototype. It can be a small group of people, warm leads, people that already know, like, and trust you, people that already love you, that will tell you the truth about it. Get them in a room, do your thing, and get feedback. I'm talking to myself too. Sales doesn't have to be salesy. It doesn't have to be greasy. It can be, hey, I'm offering this thing. I think it might help you. Are you in or not? And if they say yes, cool. Can I ask you why you said yes? Then you get feedback. Now you know what to say next time. But if they say no, don't take that to heart and be like, oh man, that sucks. They said no, and think it's all about you. No. Ask the same question. May I ask you why you said no? They'll tell you every reason why they said no. Sometimes that's an objection to overcome because it's just an unanswered question that festered. But if they tell you it's not for me, well, then it's not for them. Don't go recreating everything around them. That's just not your audience. But you get data either way. And so repetition strengthens and fortifies. What is the fastest thing that you can build? Can you just build a container, not even post it, just send some DMs, build a container for people to show up in, do your thing, get some testimonials along the way, get some data, and then refine it the next week. What's the fastest thing you can prototype from the data you've gathered and do it again? My problem is I know this and I've done it. And once it gets repetitive and boring and predictable, I sabotage because there's no more dopamine left in it. So that's sad. But if I created a community, I showed up. When I create this community and I show up consistently, there's going to be enough dopamine because there's always going to be a new problem. There's always going to be a new person. There's always going to be something else to learn and pivot and grow from. So I just want to take y'all on this journey with me as I build as I go. Someone said on a YouTube comment to a video I did last year, I want to see you 10x your income, which at the time was getting to $1 million or 2 point something million. I just want to see you document that journey. And I froze because part of me thought, can I get there? Can I do it? Am I capable of it? Who am I to, but the real question should be, who am I not to? And is it really me that's going to do it? I mean, really, I'm just a vessel. I love that Melody said this. I said consistently, and she corrected me to continuously, because consistency speaks to this demand avoidance that we have as neurospicy people, ADHD, ADHD, autistic, someone on the spectrum, which I believe we all are. And sometimes I believe God has ADHD too, because if we're made in his image, then, But continuity is better than consistency. Consistency says, I have to show up every day at this specific time and do this thing every day. And if I miss it, if I miss that streak, I fail. I'm a failure. And then it creates guilt and shame, and that guilt and shame loop keep you trapped in not doing it. But if I say continuously and I continue on, even though I may have been late, or I may not have made it this day, but at least I did this thing, or, I keep continuing on in the journey with the thing that I'm called to do, I just may not do it the same way other people do it. How many of y'all have been in a testing room and you take a test and you're taking the test and you think you're doing good, and then you start looking around and you see people are finishing before you. And you think, well, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. And so you start second guessing the answers you already gave. And, it just creates this anxiety, especially when you become the last person in the room to finish the test, right? It doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you process things differently. It's not a bad thing. So continuity, continuously. I'm going to continue showing up and going on this journey and just being fearless and using the advice that I give to other people, because I can get other people unstuck. And the best way to get other people unstuck is to obsess over the problems that they have and solving them, because then that gets me out of my head with my problems, and now I'm not talking about them. I've gone 43 minutes basically without talking about my problems and just talking about the truth of there is a solution for it. And that solution is showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when it doesn't make sense, because in the end, I'm just a vessel through which momentum and clarity can come through for people to level up and get to the next level. I don't know how to close this. And so if no one has any questions or comments right now, I think I'm just going to go, because nothing else is coming to me and I'm not going to force it. So I'll wait just a second for questions or comments, but definitely message me if you want to be a part of this community. Actually, I'll put the school link in the comments if you want to join the Greater University. I'm keeping it at $9 a month and $67 a year. And I'm actually doing this thing where if you have something to teach and you have people you can help, but you haven't figured out how to get to them, or you've been circling on creating this course or building in the background, I want to offer you a revenue share spot where You teach in the greater university, you host your course there, and we do a 80-20 revenue share. 20% for me to keep the community going and generate the leads for you that you didn't have to generate, and 80% for you, and you can build and refine your course in real time with real people so you can get feedback, so you can take it to the world as a finished product that works. So I'm dropping that link now. If you're not a member, become a member. If you are a member, thank you. And then we're going to build out this classroom, and the greater university is going to be all about helping people level up from where they are. Because if I'm not your person and I can't help you get to that next place, someone in this community will be able to help you. And I'm not stingy to where I need everyone in my community to be buying from me or working with me. As a matter of fact, I can't handle it. And so why take all of this energy and all of this responsibility on that I can't handle out of pure ego? No, there's enough to go around. I've got some amazing people that have said yes, and I've not yet followed up because I've been putting on all these systems that don't work for me on to try and fulfill it. Sometimes it has to be messy. Listen, I've talked to a lot of successful people in the last 2 years, and all of them are scatterbrained. All of them are all over the place. The saving grace is that they have a team. Myron has someone that reads his questions to him as he's talking to his audience. He also has a camera crew. There's a lot of people, and starting out, it's not going to be that way. So it's going to be messy. It's going to be all over the place, but it's going to be powerful. Thank you, Sherry. That's my auntie. Proud of you for showing up for yourself. I'm proud of me too right now. I feel a lot better than I did before. And, Think Media says this all the time. Just hit record. Sometimes you just have to hit record. Listen, I remember getting up on a stage and feeling all sorts of anxiety, shortness of breath, legs are shaking, heart's palpitating. My palms don't sweat, but my hands would shake, and I would have cotton mouth just getting up to perform music. And I don't know when I lost that, but there is absolutely no fear when I turn on the camera and go live, or when I have to get on a stage. I actually feel more at peace when I'm doing this than anything else, which is weird. So if that's something you want me to teach you, that's something I have in my list of things I wrote out. I refuse to use ChatGPT on this one. I'm like, what are the things that people already come to me for that I can teach them how to do without having to plan, without having to put it into GPT and get 300 chats later, a whole ecosystem built around it? What can I teach you? And the very first thing that comes to mind is the value of being you, because you matter. You are greater. Everyone that's bought a book from me that's got a signature knows that I have put you are greater already, as you are, with nothing else added to it or taken away from it. You are exactly who you need to be for a specific set of people that need you to show up. They have your name written backwards on their forehead, and you're the only one that can get through them. If that's you for me, I'd love to see you on the other side. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And if there's someone in my community that's that for you, I would love for y'all to make a connection. So I didn't see any more comments or questions. If this resonated with you or something stuck out to you, please put it in the comments. I want to know what's working. And until next Monday, I am going to take the feedback I got from this video and whatever God puts on my spirit to do, and do it again next Monday at 3 p.m. Because I like 3 p.m. 3 p.m. works. I'm writing that down in my undated journal. Listen, guys, at Walmart, they have this thing. It's an undated journal. You have to fill in the dates yourself. So I have to come back to it to fill out the dates. And if I have a potato day or a potato week, I don't have to write anything in it. But it's got your to-dos, it's got your priorities, it's got your goals, it's got your notes, the days, and I'm keeping track of when I wake up and when I go to sleep so I can try to regulate that. I'm getting rid of the systems that don't work for me, and I'm creating systems that work for my brain type with who I am. Racing against timers, giving myself grace when I don't show up at the same time every day, or I miss a streak on the Bible, or I miss a streak on this app called Finch that gamifies to doing, if that's a word. And me and Melody are actually working on this same thing. It's a clarity reset for people like us that can't live in the structure or the systems that are built for people that are not us, to really get grounded and centered in who you are and build a system that works and agrees with you. So we're trying to figure out a name for it, the clarity reset, the neurodivergent, whatever. And basically, let's see, it is, I'm looking because we have all these notes on it. And I remember there was, I don't remember where it is, but in a nutshell, ways to work with the energy you already have, the person you already are, the way your brain works, the things you rebel against naturally, so that you can reset and work from a place of rest yourself with safety, that this is who I am, this is how I work, this is how it works for me, and not feel the guilt and shame every time a new reel comes up on your Instagram or TikTok or Facebook saying that this way is dead, you need to use this way now. And I'll prove it to you in my 12-step course that you can just DM me join, and I'll get, and it's all automated and it's all bullshit. And excuse my language, but guys, like, anyone that can put this stuff together and speak it confidently is going to get you. They're going to get your money. They're going to get your dopamine flowing, and you're going to join, and you're not going to do anything. I spent $55,000 to be frozen. And it's nothing against Myron Golden. I wasn't at the place where I was supposed to be to take the action that he was telling me to take. I didn't even know what I was doing, period. I just had the money to do it. And I don't want you to make that same mistake. If you're going to do something, you've got to do it within the constraints, within the boundaries of how you operate, or it's not going to work. And even if it does work, it's going to be hell to keep up with, right? You hear me? Hell to keep up with. Like, you're going to have to work against who you are and how you work to the point of burnout, and then you won't do anything for a year like I didn't. So we got to work with who we are. We got to work how we work. And if you want to know more about that, DM me, drop me a comment. I'm going to do my best to get back to everyone that has messaged me over the last, I don't know, 5-6 months. I've been purposely avoiding my phone and not looking at it because it just steals so much energy and creates so much overwhelm and so much stuckness that I'm just trying to go without it. No, I'm not trying anymore. I'm going more without it this year because I value in person, on the phone, like actual relationships, and not just curated and crafted content to make people feel a certain way. And most of that content is geared to make you, it's rage bait. It's geared to make your cortisol spike, so you feel like you feel an emotion, and then you get addicted to that, and you need more of it and more extreme versions of it and more and more and more. And before you know it, you've lost 2 to 4 hours of your day just scrolling, looking at someone else doing the thing that you wish you were doing or you know you need to be doing, and they want you to be a part of their agenda. Listen, I did another experiment in the last year where I just spent an entire day trying to catch up with all of the notifications and respond to and read everything that came through my phone. Don't you know, I had a crick in my neck, my legs hurt, my body felt drained, and I didn't even put a dent in all of the notifications that came through. And every message I responded to, every comment I put, there was another comment afterwards to respond to. So responding and posting and commenting and reaching out to people, it multiplies, right? Those 95 messages on LinkedIn are going to turn to 2,000 messages by the time I'm done with all of them. And there's not enough time in a day. So you have to really be intentional about how you're spending your time. And I'll bring it back to where I started in the beginning. AI is not your friend. It It is going to make you feel good. It is going to give you all of these ideas. And if you get too many of them without any execution, you're just going to be stuck. And it's going to make you feel good about being stuck too. It's going to say you need rest. It's going to say you're just doing this, you're doing this, you're still this strong person, so just do this thing now. But it's always telling you something to do. And it's tempting to want to do it, but it's even more comforting to have that semi-tangible God that you can put an input into and get an output immediately. I found myself going to ChatGPT more than I went to God. I find it harder to sit in silence and do absolutely nothing now, because every thought I have, I'm like, let me run this through GPT and see what it thinks. So I said all this to say, if you're using GPT as your therapist, as your coach, as your strategic advisor, and you're disconnecting from humans, pretty soon the world is going to feel so dull and so boring that it's going to be damn near impossible to reconnect with another human and to think for yourself. And I just don't want you to experience what I experienced in the last few years of using GPT and progressively leaning on it more and more for content. None of this content that you're seeing right now, nothing that I've said has been prepared by GPT. This is all brought to you in part by the Holy Spirit and whatever God wanted me to say to you today. So thank you for tuning in. We will see you next Monday at 3:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hold me to it. I will be there probably early on these 3 channels: Facebook, Question Everything, and the official G-Wiz, my music channel, until I figure out how to streamline all of this under one brand name umbrella, blah, 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 whatever. I'm showing up and I'm helping y'all get in motion. I hope this helped. Please tell me how it helped, what you liked, what you learned, what it lacked, and I'll work with that feedback for next week. Until next time, be bold and courageous. Do everything that you do with passion, and I promise you will have a life that you love. Now go be greater.